Okay, so welcome, Pat, to Sits Insight. Good to see you.
Hi, James. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. So, can you? Obviously, we know each other very well. We've gone back a long time, and I'm sure lots of our audience know who you are. But for the benefit of those who don't, just give us a little intro to who you are and what you do.
I'm Patrick Bolger, and I am the Chief Evangelist at Hornbill, which is a strange title indeed. But a lot of what I do is kind of writing content around service management, speaking at events, that type of thing.
Yeah, it's a brilliant title, isn't it? And I think it plugs into your ethos, isn't it? As trying to look at these things from a bit of a broader base rather than IT in a technology context. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, that's a fair assessment, but there's also an awful lot of hype. I won't get into it because I know you probably don't want me to talk about AI and stuff like that, but there's a huge amount of hype going around. And part of my job is to basically just cut through that hype and actually say what it means to customers.
One of the things that I know we've been talking about for a long time within this IT context is trying to humanize IT. And it's been phrased in different ways: business IT alignment, business value, that kind of thing. I don't want to get into a debate about things like ITIL4 because that's outside the scope and we'll get into trouble. Yeah. I think it is very important to recognize that from a business point of view, if you're a business user, you're not particularly interested in the nuances of how IT works and those nuts and bolts. Is this one of those things, employee experience, where we start to bring it into the realm of what the business actually cares about?
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. So one of the things that certainly I think you've seen it, I've certainly seen it, is that IT organizations kind of start to invest. I mean, a few years ago, we had a situation where 10 years ago, 15 years ago, where there was no best practice, chaos reigned, there was no change management. And we brought these best practices in to try and get our own house in order. And actually, for the most part, we've actually achieved that. And now we continue to invest in those same practices, a bit like, taking your painkiller. What happens? You basically, it works, so you increase the dose. But we continue to invest to the point of diminishing returns. So a lot of effort, a lot of investment and money going into best practice that doesn't necessarily return the same level of benefit you got from the early efforts. So I think from an IT perspective, it's about actually understanding where that benefit is and looking around you at your colleagues in other departments. HR, huge delays in recruitment processes, managers not knowing what's happening with their recruitment requests. They're living out of email and spreadsheets and stuff like that. And basically trying to help them to understand the process, to draw it out, and to actually automate that process is an area that IT can really, really deliver some incredible value. I've got several examples, but probably the best one I can give you is one of our customers. They won an award for innovation within their own company because of their approach to enterprise service management. But they also won the Project of the Year award for at our recent Hornbill Insights event. And one of the things that these guys are doing is they're looking out for opportunities. They actually have a Kanban board within Hornbill, where basically they get requests in from different teams, and they think, hold on a minute, we could probably help them automate that process. So what they're doing is they're tracking that in a swim lane called opportunities. And then they'll go to those departments and say, look, we know you're struggling with this particular area. We can probably help. The problem with that is that these teams are busy and they don't really appreciate people interfering with their work. They're just trying to manage their workload and stop from sinking. So you will get a bit of pushback. And one of the ladies who was managing the HR team at this company, she was one of the biggest naysayers, saying, no, we haven't got time for this. We don't want to change how we work. But once she saw what could be done, she's now a huge evangelist. She's looking to automate as much as they possibly can within their own organization. We had another example. I produced a white paper with one of our customers a while ago. It was London Borough Waltham Forest. And basically what they were saying, by pushing the service management approach through their HR team, they reduced the number of days to recruit an employee from the point where you actually say, I need a new headcount, to the point where these people start from over 100 days to less than 50. That's got to deliver huge value to the organization. They've done other really clever stuff. So if you're a successful candidate, They have a portal that allows you to log in, submit your documentation, orientate yourself before you actually join the organization. This is massive because your onboarding experience and what happens in the first 3 months you're joining a company largely determines how long you're going to stay and how happy you're going to be in the early stages. So it's huge. And the opportunity for IT, like I said, the biggest opportunity for IT since IT, it's all around us. If you're struggling to deliver value or struggling to demonstrate value, turn around, help your colleagues within your own organization. And that is a fundamental way to actually show that you're doing what you're meant to be doing, humanizing IT service management.
Perfect. And I suppose as well in that example, particularly the onboarding, the people that are coming into the organization, that's going to color their view of what IT is about. They've got a positive experience from day one, haven't they? That must help.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And I saw a LinkedIn post yesterday from Andrew Grant, who's the CEO at Aylesbury Vale District Council. And one of the things that he was commenting on is that they have a single portal now, one-click install. So if you want to install your service desk, click in, it's up and running. If you want this, click, it's up and running. This is, we're now in the stage where basically people joining the workforce for the first time, this is what they're used to. This is what they expect.
So just wind it back slightly, because that is a big cultural shift, isn't it? And I'm interested to know where's the genesis of that generally? Does it come from IT? Is it a visionary within IT that says, look what we could do? Or is sometimes the business saying, IT, we want more from you?
I think there's a combination of both. So what you'll typically see is if an IT organization is moving a lot to the cloud, they suddenly realize actually this stuff is a hell of a lot easier. It's easier to integrate stuff, open APIs and stuff like that. You can just basically connect different services. So the idea of sitting there writing a bunch of code or writing scripts or whatever it is to get a tool to do something is yesterday. It's archaic.
Say you're sat there as a service desk or within the IT support operation, you're thinking, I get this. What's your starting point? Because I think we do have to overcome that perception that the IT, if it's starting to tell, we can't avoid the fact that it looks like you're telling other departments how to do their job. Yeah. Have you got any advice on that, on how they can approach it in a way that's not going to put people's noses out of joint?
Well, basically, a lot of the time, we see it with existing customers. What they tend to do is they'll get these people into a room and they'll basically sit down with them and go through a particular challenging problem that they've got. And they'll actually spell it out. And there and then, they'll actually start to design the process within the tool. Now, the beauty of doing it this way with modern tools is that basically what you do is you start to give the ownership to them immediately to start to automate their own process. You don't have to have C++ skills or JavaScript skills or anything like that. If you can manipulate a Visio diagram, you can actually do this. So most people are smart enough to be able to do that. So they drag stuff around the screen. They say, if this happens, then go this direction, et cetera, and just put a basic process flow together. Once you show them what that actually looks like, you can see the little light bulbs going on. It's like, oh, we could also do this for this. And we're getting things in like people are traveling to, we'll say, high-risk areas of the world. Yeah, they book their travel requests through this kind of capability. They organize taxis, they do other things. So all of this, if you can think of it from the context of an employee experience and a self-service portal, anything I need to do in terms of booking stuff, ordering stuff, reporting stuff as broken, should be possible through a single portal. And that's what we're talking about, delivering a better employee experience.